is landed in Leadership and Enlightenment, a podcast where the guests are exceptional humans that have faced their fears to crest into their best selves, growing into a way they can help their communities, creating opportunities, and sharing their secrets and their tips that they learned along the way. Without further ado, here we are, my friends. Have a great time today and enjoy Leadership and Enlightenment. Well, Carly and Amanda, we've been looking forward to this one for a month. Our first phone call absolutely floored me. You two are just beacons of light out in the world trying to create an experience for yourself that you deserve so much. I mean, I know you were out there in the working world like myself, pushing that, 8 to 10 o'clock at night buttons for somebody else. And now you're getting to do for yourself. And that to me is so inspirational. I'm going to give you the floor. Just tell the audience where you guys are, what you're doing, and how you got here. I know they're going to want to hear all of it.
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you so much. So Carly and myself, Amanda, we have newly formed Wild Ivy Productions. So we're not new to the industry, but we're newly brave, starting our own thing, women owned and led, transparent pricing models, all great things that we'll talk about as we get deeper into this. But I think really it's about our story of how we got here. And we're really trying to inspire other people to not feel like they have to shrink themselves to make other people comfortable. And I think for me, where it started is back in January, I had a health scare. To your point, working a lot, spending a lot of time committing to my company and not focusing on myself. I had a little high blood pressure issue, went in for a heart CT, and they found a mass on my liver. So I went through weeks of not knowing if that mass was cancerous or not. And I'm extremely lucky to be able to say that the tumor is benign. But it became a point, yes, thank you. It became a point in my life that just brought the clarity that I've needed for a really long time. And that led to me starting to take steps to prioritize my family, myself over my career. And along the way, was inspired to say, I don't have to give up my career. I can do something that has a sense of balance. And as long as I'm able to control it, that small business owner route felt like the best option for me. So I started freelancing. And then Carly, I can let you take it away with point two or 2.0 to talk about how you came into.
Yes, it was not a medical scare, and it's not as heartfelt. Mine was honestly, ever since I was little, the two things I wanted to do or be when I grew up, which by the way, it was a lawyer to begin with, because that was that was the career I thought made the most money. And that's where I'm like, technology was not even on my radar, but I really wanted to make a lot of money because, I had, a single mom, poor background, instability. Again, another one of those things that those are the two things I was missing in life. So as I developed through my career and fell into, I went to college and did the computer science, then turned into math, actually. I got my degree in math, and then fell straight into, when we moved to Chicago, into technology. And I fell in love with it. I love all aspects of it. I was not in the event space to begin with. I actually was in the office supply space and manufacturing, and then medical supply and manufacturing, and then moved into event space about 12 years ago. And what I really loved about the event space was that there's not a day that's the same.
Yeah.
It's a little bit of chaos, and that matched my brain a little bit.
Yep. I
So
get that.
I worked my way up and I got to the top of the company, right? I got to the senior VP role, and I did everything that I thought I wanted. Like I made it. I made the stability. I made the, making pretty decent money. And I realized that I wasn't happy. Like my perspective had changed throughout that path. And I didn't get to focus on the things that I really enjoyed, which, were building some relationships and just the transparency. Once you get into kind of like that corporate VP role or senior VP role, the thing that you're aiming for, You realize that it's a lot of meetings and it's a lot of
Yep.
politics. That's not a terrible thing, but for me, I wanted more meaning. I wanted more connection. So, finding the right kind of people like Amanda to partner with and that are just so heartfelt, and you can hear her every time she'll talk. She's just such a real person. Partnering with her to bring about just like a really fun environment for us that we can balance this.
Yeah.
Eventually we'll be stable. We're startup, so it'll
No, you
happen.
will. You will, because you're
It'll happen.
aligned. And I relate with both of your stories. Man, you're not going to believe it. I had the same thing happen to me about 7 years ago. They told me I had ingested some bacteria that attached itself to my liver. And it is horrifying to be in those scenarios. You don't know how you come out of it. I'm not going to say mine was the catalyst for my life jumping, but it definitely made me aware that I was not impermeable. I was, I could be broken, and that I had to start to consider what that means. And I spend time now in my own personal energies resting in a certain way where some people might be confused, but I know now what that line was that I had crossed and how I had basically exhausted myself without feeling like I needed to be concerned with that and how that can take your life away from you. And it was quite shocking. But I know that pedal point, and then the idea of investing yourself into a job that or a lifestyle that allows you to live within, that heart rate below 95 or whatever it is. I was at 99 plus every time I went to the doctor. She's like, "What do you do for a living?" I'm like, "I'm a professional athlete." "No, I work in the convention industry in Las Vegas." I mean, like literally. And Carly, I align with what you said so much because I was like the waiter to the executive story for everybody in MGM Resorts that knew me because, I put the time in and learned and did what you did. But where I got to as well, I was saying to everybody I was fabulous every day, but inside I wasn't fabulous. I didn't feel like I was aligned in my purpose. And, coming out and starting like you both have and just embracing that fear factor of, oh my gosh, it invigorated me in certain ways and has fulfilled me in certain ways to understand that, yeah, those are places in life that I learned from, but I don't want to climb that ladder anymore. I want to live within the rings of that tree. I want to believe that there is something that we were all destined to do or be in place for being here without feeling like it has to do with this killing your body or killing your vessel scenario. And so now you both are sitting here, and this is what really attracted me is that your personalities have brought you to the events industry. And okay, I say it because I am. This industry is full of people that are neurodivergent.
Mhm.
We all are built in this industry a certain way where it scratches those itches. And I love to joke about that if we really look at ourselves. But the reasons why, lawyer, being a doctor may not have, fit the mold because we were focused on money. Now we're focused on the idea of our life and our quality of life, and we're shining this light. And behind that, the revenue fulfills, that desire of greatness. And I believe in it. I believe in that desire of greatness and where we're going to be. It's just we have to allow ourselves to take the ceilings off, allow the world to work around us in a certain way to provide, and then to be able to share that message. And I'm just so proud that you both have found that place in your life because so many people don't. They just sit there and they hope to fix and put band-aids and reinvent themselves for the eighth time this year. And I'm going to give it another 12 months. And I just hope for those individuals hearing this that they realize like you can do it as well. Like there's a place for you. And so
And
tell
there's
us, what are you guys doing now where you feel like your business is growing you and how that works?
I was going to say, when you said that, it's so funny. There's never a perfect time, right? Like, I mean, if we were to really think about it, with the world's economy the way it is, doing something, going out our own at this time, it might be considered a little crazy. But it was the
Hmm.
right time for both of us. Like the voices are ahead, the one that said, you're gonna fail. We just didn't listen. Like and it's been working great. Like we have been, I mean, it's tough, don't get me wrong.
Sure.
We are constantly on LinkedIn and we are constantly communicating with people. But through this process, we've met people like you
Hmm.
and a lot of other people who are really just want to join and raise each other up. And that has been the biggest present of this whole thing. I mean, it's just been the partnerships and the relationships and the friendship and the willingness to help us has been absolutely incredible from everywhere.
Mandy, you seeing the same thing?
Oh my gosh, absolutely. And the fact of, Carly and I coming together too, and you have to be each other's hype people amplified by a million, right? And we've kind of leaned into this whole like, give me some signs, right? Like give me something that we made the right choice. And so we kind of go back and forth with each other on like, it's 11:11 and we,
There you go.
saw this,
Yeah.
we get an email at this time and that means something great. It's funny the things that you lean into as kind of that comfort to keep going. It's about to what you've been talking about a little bit too. There's a different purpose, right? The goal is Carly and I are not expecting to become millionaires from what we do. Production and helping companies and nonprofits and people tell stories and reach audiences and change hearts and minds. It's a really profound room that we get to be in with people. And for us, it's about that we're able to bring our expertise and our teams that can activate the lights and the audio
Yep.
and create these great videos and interstitials to help be part of that changing hearts and minds. And that means more to us than, to Carly's point, making amount of money and salary and things
Yeah.
like that. So we've got a higher calling in helping people tell really great, profound stories.
And I totally believe that. I think one of the deltas in the industry that you're in, production, is that connection of heart and authenticity. I think it's gotten really wild out there in the West, in the idea of pricing, and everybody's focused on what does it cost, but they've lost this idea of how do you connect.
Yep.
And the meeting room is turned into the projector and the speaker and the outcome. But I think in the world that we live in now, it's more the idea of like cooking with love, right? It's such a different meal. And when you're investing in your relationships like you are, and I feel the same way. When I was in my other world working in conventions, I would see contracts come across the desk were different, and the only reason why they were different is because somebody didn't know to ask that question. And I thought, interestingly enough, right? I mean, like, this is kind of place that I think I can involve myself with people and help them understand, like, this is a strategy, and how are you looking at that? And I get such great joy when my clients say to me things like, we know we're in the best hands, even though it's not solving itself the way that we had hoped. We know the best solutions in place. And I know that you're working towards that same ideal. What are some of the things you do with your clients that you think stand out in that realm, and how they could actually see that in their own productions?
Yeah, I think that there's this beautiful shift where people have a choice to show up or to not show up. And so making sure that content is mapping to audience. And that's something that we've spent 20 plus years being able to perfect, was nailing that audience persona and saying it no longer matters what you want to say on the stage. What matters is what the people in the seats want to hear.
So
Help
true.
us to help you craft that message, because the audience, whether we like it or not, they are shifting. They have a choice. Face to face, that's a big commitment for people to make, to be away from their families. And so 100% of the time you lose if you're not putting that audience first mentality and mindset into how you are going to produce the right message. Or, and it's also very much playwright. You can't just flip through slides anymore and think you're keeping people's attention. You have to give your media to your audience the way that they're accustomed to consuming it. And everyone has their phones, their television, their Netflix subscriptions, all of that. And so you have to make it a very interactive, engaging. You have to put them on the stage so that they see themselves up there and they connect more to the message. And so it's all those tactics that we like to bring to life, both in the way that the audience is consuming information best and the best message for the audience.
That is such a big point, and it never comes up out there. So, I mean, like, applause to you on that idea. We are in a TikTok stage, I like to say, and you
Right.
have to digest information differently to your audience now, and realize that they're going to take it in, and they have a choice. And being ADD, like, if you're presenting to me longer than 30 minutes, I just tuned out. I'm gone. And if you're not aware of that, if you're producing a meeting, or let's just say you're new into the industry, to have you in their corner helping them through that is so dynamic. And being able to bring in, different aspects to make the meeting engaging, or know the speaker's output is going to really drive that point home rather than just being somebody up there rah-rahing you. What do
Yep.
you think, Carly? I know you're coming into this nuts and bolts and numbers.
It's not no, one of the things I think is special about Amanda and I, as well as is our backgrounds. Like Amanda didn't mention, but we both came from that industry background. Again, me with 12 years, but Amanda was actually 20 years in the industry, and it wasn't all production. The last, 5 years or so has been production heavily, but she has an operational background. So she is very aware when she's working with event planners on how to really integrate. When you have empathy, when you understand the plight and the whole entire process and event it goes through, not just the production portion of it, I think can be a better partner. And then with my tech background, especially on the event side, technology, it's efficiencies, it's tech. How do you integrate those pieces really seamlessly through the process has made it, I think, a little bit different than most production companies out there. I can't say all. I'm sure there's people with backgrounds the same or similar, but I think we do stand out. We just do it with so much heart that I think it matters. I think it's great.
I do too. We were talking the last time we met, you're you represent kind of a broker's mindset in production and AV. Like you're working for the client and you're finding resources for them to use your services, but as well be efficient with other services within the hotel. And I think that that's the magic equation. I think there's a lot of clients that are running into this idea that it was the cheapest opportunity, but they didn't know the equipment they needed that would have taken it to the next level if they spent a couple extra dollars. And what was that, And the idea of being able to take both those worlds and putting them together, I can see that magic equation for you guys and how it works out. How's your
Amanda's passionate
family's
about that.
dealing? Yeah, I want to shift out of business for a minute and ask, how's your family's dealing with how you made this move? And are there any things that you're working with at home and family that, help support, or maybe the clients would want to know, or the audience would want to know, has been a challenge that you've been working through?
My 6-year-old thinks that we sell bologna sandwiches. She has not connected with what mom is doing, and we'll have to deep dive into that a little bit later
That's
to
awesome.
see how she made that connection. I mean, I have the greatest family, and it gets a little emotional for me. My husband has fully taken this leap with me and allowed me to do this amazing thing. He's bet on me harder than I've bet on myself. And so you really truly have to have the stars aligned for something like this to be as magical as it's been for Carly and I, right? Because your business life is in turmoil, your personal life has to be solid as a rock. And so I can say I've been lucky. My older kids, they think it's cool, right? They think it's cool to say, my mom, she left and she started her own business. I mean, they still can't explain what I do, probably better than
Nobody ever will.
only
Yeah, none of
sandwiches,
us.
but they're still
Yeah.
not 100% certain how to talk about it. But I will say, what a blessing. I am absolutely blessed that I have the support that I have. I try not to take it for granted. There are those crazy days where you can't help it. But yeah, I mean, my home is my biggest cheerleader. And Carly, I'll let you dive into it, but I think it's very similar.
It is very similar. My husband is massively supportive. Even when I'm like, what did I do? Or is this the right decision? He's always like, it'll work out. Just chill. But I have to say, and she's right. Like my whole life is amazing. The emotional roller coaster of starting your own company, though, I was not ready for. I was not ready for that, because working in a company, you were a cheerleader, even when you were on the team helping to sell something, right? And you were really wanted to sell it for the company. You didn't have that full emotional engagement you do when it's your own.
Mhm.
When you're keeping the lights on, when you're trying, you're giving it all, we're being transparent with pricing. We're telling you that it's not going to work out. We're being real honest. If you go this route, whatever, we put all in. So when the highs are super, super high, when you win something, you're like, yeah, we call each
Yeah.
other after every call.
Yeah.
We celebrate for the little things of just, getting 300 followers on our Wild Ivy page because we just
Yeah.
started it a
It's
couple of months
huge.
ago. We've celebrated that. But the lows, when somebody says no or just isn't interested or ghosts you, which happens a lot, which I had to get used to. I haven't done the whole
Yeah.
online dating. I've been married for
Yeah.
20 years.
I mean, it was rough for me too. Yeah, I know what you're saying.
I wasn't ready for that. So
Yeah.
that is so having, if I would have done this on my own, like tried to go out, I don't know if I would be able to do it. Having Amanda and having that partnership where we literally call each other every day at 8:30 in the morning and pump each other up for the day and, talk about what meetings or how we're going to spend we have 0 meetings and we're going to spend the entire day just trying to connect with people and,
Yeah.
have a fun presence on LinkedIn because we just want to be engaging. Like those are the things that it's been it's
No,
Yeah.
it's
been
it's it's
Or we have 5
absolutely.
meetings and we're like, all right, no time for anything else. Let's just,
Yeah.
who's got what deck?
Well, the tangibles change, right? I mean, when
Hmm.
we were in our other roles and you're working from morning to night, you had these tangibles that you can align and say, okay, I'm doing well from what I can observe. And then when you're getting on your own, like those tangibles change completely. Like you
Yeah.
said, 300 is a win. And that's something to really think about. The fact that you have each other to work through this, I find something very curious by that. And I think that you're going to see it happen for you. Is, the belief in the power of two. When two people collaborate energy together within a single focus, it is then heard. We all hear this in the idea of religion. That voice is then heard even stronger. When I'm in my world, I try and relate in relationships every day that I have to establish two in that mindset. And I always get there in that conversation and say to the other person, like, what do you want to have happen the next 6 months? Because we're in the best place right now to put it out into the universe and realize it because we're in like mind. And you guys have that advantage every day that you really get to synergize around. And I know that we'll talk in 6 months and you're going to say, that was a perpetual motion that we didn't realize was in our lives. And we
Hmm.
get to see it every day. I mean, you're really, truly shining through in this ability. And for those that are getting started, it's part of the process. I mean, when I first got into this, it sounded like somebody said to me, just walk that way. And I'm like, that looks like a big desert. And I don't know where you're telling me to go. Like in my old life, somebody would have told me where to go. And now you're just saying walk. Okay. So you start walking and you do these things. You connect to LinkedIn, you're creating your website, you're doing this. In a year into it or so, you start to see, I'm on a path. I get this. It's going somewhere, but I have no idea where it's going. I just have to literally keep doing this day to day to day to day. And then eventually I saw some blue and I realized, like, oh, I'm walking to water. Oh, this is great. At least I know where I'm going now. And I just kept going my third year and I'm moving through this, but I'm deciding now, like, how do I want this experience to be? Because I can see where it's going and who do I want to go swimming with versus who do I not want to go swimming with? And I start to align my clients around that, my friends, and realizing like I'm playing with averages now. Like, only 5 to 10% of the energy might be in a heartfelt mindset. And those are the people I want to work with. Well, that's going to take a little longer to build from. And I accept that in my business and moving traction forward. And eventually you get to the water and you're like, oh, okay, so I got to jump in. Now I got to go swimming. And you know your purpose and why you've done this, but you really got to work on your strength to swim. You're like, it doesn't just come naturally. And then you're like, I need a boat. I mean, I can't just swim anymore. I'm getting tired. I need a boat. And then I want an engine for my boat because I want it to run bigger. And my personal goal is I want an island. I would like to just a stable island out there in the middle of that water that I
The
finally
Dean
built,
Island.
and that might take 10 years to get there. But, along the way, you learn from these connections and these friends. And I had this really great friend in the industry. I should say, and I used to. And Heather Hansen, she said something to me once about that. And she's like, I'm like, Heather, like we're talking about the best understanding for a 5-year business model. You've been in business for a long time. How would you input this? And she says, oh my God, Dean, I've changed my model 3 times in 15 years. And I said, oh, well, you see, you really never got anywhere. And she said, no, you just evolve. And I went from a large profile to a smaller one to a more exclusive one. And it really dawned on me like this idea of getting somewhere. There's really nowhere to get to. And you're really working into this idea of being where you are today and knowing that when you get there, you're going to look back. And these were the days. So how do you live in these days? Another great story was this gentleman named Dolfo Wines in California. And he was talking about how when the winery was small, him and his family go out to sushi when they'd have a big win. And they remember those days. And now the business is so busy, there's no time for sushi. And it really is like, that sits with me because I know in my own personal life, there's going to be a time where I'm not going to have that time anymore. I might have to put a representative in my business to handle that now because I can't fulfill that model. And I'm going to look back to the days when I used to do that myself every day and think, dude, those were great days. And so I'm doing everything I can in my own personal existence to appreciate the day I'm within and say to myself, like, you're going to miss this day down the line. Where this great book I've recently read, I would suggest, is like The Gap and the Gain. And we tend to look at our lives as, our goal is the perfect equation of what we're looking to get to. Like, I want 10 storage, businesses in the world down the line. And, I want 10 rental houses in the world that I'm living with. And I want, 10 million in liquidity in my bank account. Like, this to me is where I'm trying to get to. But if you look back to where you've come from to where you are, you realize like you've accomplished so much. And even just coming out of your careers to be in this second
Oh,
career,
yeah.
that decision of that model right there to burn the boats and move forward. This is, to me, what Leadership Enlightenment's about. This is what the podcast is. That shines through both of you in a way where it's not a title, it's not a position in life, it's a being that you want to be there for others, and that shines through so dramatically in the way you both present yourself. I just love that part, and that's why I was excited to have you both on the podcast today as guests. If you were going to leave the audience with one thing from both of you that you want them to remember, and knowing, like, I am fully telling everybody, you should call them and talk about your AV business. I am a meeting broker, and I could tell you these two know what they're doing, and they should definitely be within this ideal of getting their input into your business. But I'm going to give you the stage here. Both of you, let the audience know what they should leave you with.
I just think that there's such power in this women-owned and led production agency. I mean, we're not trying to tap the glass ceiling. Like, we came in straight out trying to break it. And like we talked about earlier, there's this empathy and this heart behind everything that we do. And that is critical today in how people are communicating to their audiences. So, not saying that nobody else can do it, but we really feel like that's a big advantage for anyone who partners with Wild Ivy Productions is just the complete intention we have on making every single piece of equipment with our creative resources hit that emotional string in the right way and build that affinity to your brand, your organization, whatever you're looking for. The other thing too is, again, we're not going in thinking we're going to have $10 million in our bank right now. We're going in with kind of this clean, good aura to say, we're going to remove the curtain and show you transparent pricing in a production world. Because to your point, it's necessary. It's why everyone's in the room. There is a message that needs to be told, but it has to be affordable. And we really pride ourselves in saying, ask for any invoice, ask for anything. We're very clear in showing you who gets paid for doing what and how Wild Ivy makes a revenue ourselves. And we think that we're really fair and equitable. And in this industry, it's a little bit of a differentiator to be
Yes, it
willing to
is.
open those books.
Yes, it is.
And I can't follow that.
She
She
killed it,
told
that's
you
for sure.
She told you all the things about Wild Ivy. I would say as people, 100%, we want you to come knock down our doors, send us messages. We will price and you will see that we will be fair and just, and we will be wonderful to work with. But the thing that I like more about what we're doing is we're also connecting people. We're becoming good partnerships, but we're connecting people. We've been working with different groups, and if for no reason, there's no benefit to us to say, oh my gosh, you need an event team. We happen to know a really great event team and we connect you. But it has zero, we're not doing referral dollars. It's just about raising people up. Like, we can all collectively in this environment, this economy, if we all just really cared, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Little bit more and just we're a little selfless. It's amazing what we can accomplish. And I think that's what we're doing at Wild Ivy as well. I mean, we're building this and we're the fair and transparent partners, but we're also good people. So I think that's what we're focusing on continuing.
Well, I think that's obviously the model that's going to grow for you. And I know that when we get back on and rediscuss this in 6 months to a year, the conversation is going to be completely different. You're both aligned. Your light is really shining through this. And I know that every day, a contract coming in or a referral would make you feel like you're in the right place, but take it from outside looking in. You're in the right place. You're doing what you're supposed to be doing, and it's going to come out. I know the audience will see that too. I'll have how to contact you in our show notes. If you guys want to throw that out real quick right now on video too, best way to contact you.
Wild Ivy, you can find us on LinkedIn, Wild Ivy Productions Inc. We have a beautiful Wild Ivy logo. But I think you'll give email addresses. It's much easier to do a copy and paste than it is for me to say it and them type it in.
Easy enough.
Or you can go to www.wildivyinc.com, and there's a submission area there as well that you can connect with us. But we're very active on LinkedIn, so you can usually catch us between 6 a.m. and 9 p.m. Carly, I think we live on there during our business days. So follow us, like us, reach out to us, whatever works. We're excited to start partnering with some more really awesome people.
You guys deserve it. I'm putting my vote in it for you. Well, thanks
you.
for spending time with me today. I look forward to the next one, my friends.
Thank you
It's been
so
amazing
much.
talking to you.
We appreciate you.
Well, there we go. Another amazing example of the universe working in its magnificent way today. Appreciate you showing up and look forward to seeing you again at Leadership and Enlightenment.